Welcome, high fashionistas, to Sew for Self with LSC. I'm Malanda, and here's where I teach you to sew high fashion garments for yourself. Today, I'm so excited to show you guys how I crocheted this high fashion long sweater coat. This coat was inspired by the Dolce & Gabbana knitted fall 2020 ready to wear coat. Side note, I have not crocheted in over 10 years, so please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing any of these crocheted stitches. I was determined to create this beautiful sweater coat, and it is so warm. I used 100% wool to create this coat. But first, you know the deal. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and please share this video. I'll give you a couple seconds. So now, let's begin. These are the tools that I used. Most of the sweater was done within this wool. Let's see, it's 100% wool by Snowstorm, and I got it at Hobby, and it worked up very nice and thick and heavy. Loved it, but they ran out of this, so I had to finish it off with this, and this did not work up as well as this one. So that's when I started to use a 5mm crochet hook, but most of it is done with the 6mm crochet hook. So these are all the tools that I needed to complete the sweater. The back of the sweater was 50 inches long. So, and the width was 25 inches. So our width of our back was 25 inches. So the front panel is going to be, let's see, 2 front panels. Is what we need for our front. So our back panel was 25 inches wide. So, but our neck, which will be, let's say about right here in the middle, is 6 inches. So that is 6 inches. So between your panels is going to be 6 inches apart. So between your front panels is going to be 6 inches apart, and that's going to be for your neck. So it'll be 25 inches because that was our back, minus 6 inches because that is our neck. That's our back. And that equals 19 inches. And 19 divided by 2, because we have 2 panels, so 19 divided by 2 equals 9.5 inches. So it would be 9.5 inches wide. So each back panel would be 9.5 inches wide. Okay, 9.5 inches, 9.5 inches wide. but it stays 50 inches long. You still want to keep it 50 inches long. Okay, so that's how we're going to start. The first thing you want to do is make a chain. Now, you want to make the chain starting from your shoulder down to as long as you want your sweater. I want my sweater almost to the floor, so I want it to be 50 inches. So I'm going to make my chain 50 inches. You twist the short piece around make an X, then you wrap, bring it through, pull a little tight. Now you want to make a chain that is 50 inches. So you wrap and pull. Keep doing this and I'll meet you back here after we have our 50-inch chain. Now that we have our 50 inches of chain done, we're going to work on our next row of half double crochets. Mind you, I am not a crochetologist or anything like that. I haven't crocheted in 10 years. And I was only doing the single stitch then. So I'm learning as I am going along. I've looked at a bunch of YouTube channels and I'm determined to make this sweater. So what we're going to do is block off our chain with 2 chains. And now it's time for the half double crochet, which is yarn over, go into that 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, and go through. Go through. So now you have 3 on your hook, yarn over again, pull through 1, you have 2 left, 3 left, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. Oh, let's do that again. So for the half double crochet, we are going to yarn over, go into that next chain loop, so you have 3, then you yarn over again, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3 of them. And I'm just learning this myself, so we're going to keep doing that through the whole entire length of our chain, and then we'll be back for the next row. We finished our row of half double crochets. Now we're going to start our next row of half double crochets in the back loop. So we are going to do a chain of 2, turn our work, yarn over, go in that back loop, yarn over, pull through 1, 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 of them. Again, yarn over, go in that back loop, yarn over, pull through 1, you have 3 of them on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. So you're going to keep doing that until you get to the width of your back. Okay, so I completed the back of our sweater. Now how I got the measurements, it's from your shoulder to shoulder and add 5 inches. Okay, so whatever your measurement is from your shoulder to your shoulder, and then you just add 5 inches, and that's going to be the width of your back. And remember, you can have this as long as you want. So now we're going to work on the front. Now we want to start on our front panels. So we start by making a chain as long as you want your sweater, which was, mine was 50 inches. So I made a chain as long as that, and then I blocked off the last 2 chains. So now we want to do our first row of half double crochets like we did on our back. We started with a half double crochet, so we are going to continue that with doing half double crochets on our second row, just like we did, and then we'll follow up with the next row with the half double crochets back loops, and we'll keep continuing that for the whole 2 front panels. Now that we have all 3 panels complete, you have your back panel and your 2 front panels. Now that you have them complete, we're going to work on our arms. You're going to need your arm measurement. Now you're going to measure from your wrist to the middle of your upper arm. Mine is 15 inches, so I'm going to start out with a 15-inch chain. So the first thing you're going to do to start your arm is take your measurements. You want to take your measurements from the middle of your upper arm to your wrist. Once you have that measurement, then you want to make a chain as long as that measurement. My measurement was 15 inches, so I made a 15-inch chain. Now we're going to block off 2 and do the half double crochet all through this first chain. And then remember, when you come back to the next row, that's when you're going to start your half double crochet back loops, and keep doing that until you get it as wide as 20 inches or wider if you want. Okay, so we have all our pieces complete. We have our 2 front panels done. We have our back panel done. I made the 2 front panels a little bit wider than 9 inches. So we also have our 2 sleeves done, which is a 20 by 20 square. So we have those 2 sleeves done. So what we're going to do now is sew or crochet everything together. Okay. Now you want to put a pin in the middle of your back panel. Put a pin in the middle of your back panel, and then 3 inches apart. So this one is 3 inches and this one is 3 inches. So that's your 6 inches. That's where your neck is going to be. So crochet this shoulder together. You want to stop here. You want to put another pin here. Leave this part open for the armhole. So you want to leave that open. You want to mark the width of your armhole. Mine is 11.5 inches. So you want to mark that. And then from the pin down is where you want to start crocheting your panels together. Let's start with the shoulders. Let's crochet the shoulders together. Your front panel and your back panel together. Okay, so you're gonna take your crochet hook, go through your first available hoop, through to this available hoop, put your loop on it, pull it through. So that's your first one. Wrap around, one. So we're just doing single crochets all the way through. So right now we are single crocheting everything together. You're crocheting your front panels to your back panels, single crocheting it down the sides. You're going to leave enough room for your armhole here. You're going to take your 25 by 20 piece, which is your sleeve, fold it in half. Make sure your lines are running up and down. You want to single crochet the bottom of it together. So you want to fold your arm in half. Put it through both sides. Get your yarn, pull it through, wrap once, pull it through again. Okay, and you want to work that all the way down. So you want to pull it through one hole on one side, the other side, grab, pull it through both, wrap, pull it through again. One side, other side, pull it through, wrap, pull it through both. So you want to work those single stitches straight down, closing up the entire armhole. And then you want to fold your arm inside out, then attach it to the armhole. So you want to attach your sleeve to the armhole, doing those same single stitch all the way around. We have stitched everything together, the shoulders and all around the armhole and down the sides of the sweaters. So now we're going to work on our cuffs. So we make our loop, and the first thing we want to do, you can start basically anywhere we want to try, and since our sleeve is so wide, remember it was a 20 by 20 square. Okay, and then folding it in half probably gave us like a 10-inch wide sleeve hole. So we want to make the cuffs a little smaller. I still want my cuffs to be pretty baggy, but just a little bit smaller. 10 inches wide is too wide on a wrist. So now you see how our lines are going up and down. So we want to start anywhere. We want to try and bring them in. So start anywhere. So put your hook through one of the holes, pull through, wrap around, and pull through. So we are going to do some decreasing here. So what I figured out which worked for me, not saying that is correct or anything like that. This is just what works for me. I don't know the names of all these stitches, but I'm trying here. So what worked for me is skipping all the raised lines. So see all these lines that are raised? I skipped all of those stitches and just went to the flat stitches, the one in between. So crochet up 2, so that was 1, this is 2. We have 1 on here already, so go to the flat stitch, which is in between the raised ones, wrap around, pull through, you have 2, and pull through both of them. Okay, so again, we're going to skip all the raised stitches, go to the flat ones, so pull through the middle, wrap around, pull through, you have 3 left, and pull through 2. So let's do that again. Gonna wrap, oh, no wrapping around. Skip the raised stitches. We're gonna go to the flat ones here in the middle and go through the middle. Wrap around, pull through. You have 2 on your hook. Wrap around, pull through 2. So we're gonna keep doing that all the way around. See how it's starting to push them together? We're gonna do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back here when we're done. Now we made it all the way back around, and you see how it tightened up the sleeve a little bit? This is how wide you want your sleeve. So we're gonna keep this width. So now we're gonna work on the scrunchy part. So this is how we're gonna end up with this type of a sleeve. I already did one. A very wide cuff that we can fold down. So you see there's holes where our raised stitches, there's holes there. So we want to close up those holes. So how I did it, I don't know whether or not this is right or wrong, but it worked out very well for me, is wrap around once. This is what works for me. Wrap around once in that first hole right in the top, bring it through, wrap, bring it through 2, wrap, bring it through 2. Now right where, see where the hole is? We need to close that up. So we're gonna wrap, we're gonna go take it through the top of that hole, right through our raised stitches, wrap, bring through, wrap, bring through 2, bring through 2. Okay, again, next stitch is right where the flat lines are, right in between. So we're gonna wrap once, go through that next hole, wrap, bring through, wrap, bring through 2, wrap, bring through the last 2. Now right at the top of the raised stitch where that hole is that we need to close up, right here, hole is that we need to close up, we're going to wrap once, bring through right the top of that hole, top of that raised stitch, bring through, wrap, bring through 2, wrap, bring through 2. So now see how it's closing it up? So we're going to do that all the way around. We made it with the second layer all the way around our sleeve. Now we're going to start our ribbing, our stretch ribbing. So we're going to do like front and back post. We're going to crochet front and back post. So the first thing that we're going to do is chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to wrap around 1, go through that first available post, wrap around, go through that first available post the front way, and then we're going to bring it that way, wrap around and pull through, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around and pull through 2. And do that again, but we're going to go the back way. We're going to go the back way around that next post, through, wrap around, pull through. Have 3 left, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. So now we're going to go front post. Wrap, go through, come out the other side, wrap around, bring it through. You have 3 left, wrap around, go through 2, wrap around, go through 2. So wrap around. Now we're going to do the back post. We're going to go through the back way. Back way, and wrap it around through that post, wrap it around, bring it through, wrap around, bring through 2, wrap around, bring through the last 2. So we're going to keep on doing those front and back post. We're going to do 10 rows of these all the way around. Just keep going front and back post all the way around until your cuff looks like this. This is nothing but front and back post all the way through. And then we have 10 rows of it. And you can make it as wide. If you want a shorter cuff, you can make it as wide as you want, but I made mine's 10. So once we go through our 10, then we are going to cut and tie. So I'll meet you back here after we cut and tie. Now we're at the collar. Gonna work on making that big wide collar. First thing we want to do is connect the yarn to the corner of the neck and work our way around. Now what we're going to do is make a long chain. My chain is 10 inches because I want a 10-inch collar. So we're going to go in the third loop. So we're going to do a double crochet down the whole entire first chain. And I'll meet you when I get back. Same way we did all the rest of the sweater. So we're going to do that. Okay, so we have done our 10-inch row. So we're right back at the neck. So what we're going to do is make 2 slip stitch to hold it down. That's 1, 2, you know what, let's do 3. Once we do that, so now that we've moved that 1, we're going to turn our work and then work backwards, all in back loops, and we're going to keep going up and down through the entire neck of the sweater. So we're going to do that all through the entire neck of the sweater, and we'll be back when it's done. We completed our rows of back loop crochets up and down the entire collar or neck of the sweater. Now, once you complete the neck, you want to add more rows to your collar to make it wider. You want to add 5 more rows of up and down crochets starting from the top or the bottom, and just work your way up and down, back loop crochets, 5 more rows from the top of the collar all the way down to the bottom. So 5 more rows on each side of the neck. So now, only thing we have to do now is add our trim. I know by now you're tired of doing the back loop crochets, but this is the last part, the trim. We're going to work on the trim. So what we're going to do is insert our hook on one corner. So what we're going to do is do our chain up of 4 inches, and then keep going with our back loop crochets up and down the side. So we're going to have a 4-inch trim on both sides. Okay, I wanted to show you where I am with making the trim on the 2 front side panels. So this trim goes all the way to the floor, or as long as the sweater is. So we're just doing the back loop crochet knit, like we've been doing through the whole entire sweater. So right now I'm at almost at the top of the collar. So once you get, now I've been using 15 double crochet stitches all the way through, only 15 across. So when I get here to the end, my final double crochet. So to connect the trim to the collar, you just want to do a slip stitch. Just do straight in, out, through. That's all you want to do. And then you want to go up to the next one, slip stitch, and then slip stitch again. So that's 3 slip stitches, and that is holding the trim to the sweater. Turn your work and start your double crochet in the back loop again. And this is what we're doing through the entire sweater. This is what we've been doing. Just our double crochets right in the back loop only. So we're going to continue this until I get to the end, all the way up. I started from the bottom and I'm working my way to the top. So I'm almost at the very top. So once I get here, then we're going to start working on the pockets. To start with, to make the pockets, I did chained up 36. Did a chain of 36. Then I did the double crochet the entire first row. And now I'm doing a double crochet back in the back loops only, just like we've been doing through this entire process. This is the same thing. Now we're just working the pockets, and we're gonna do, and I'm gonna do 21 layers. You can make this pocket as big or as small as you want to. I want a big pocket, so I'm gonna start to do that until I end up with a square. And then we will take our needle and sew each pocket onto the sides of the sweater. So that's about it. And then I'll be back with the final product. Our long sweater coat is complete. The results are absolutely beautiful. Here is our Dolce & Gabbana inspiration, and here's our interpretation. Remember, always keep it high fashion. See you next time, high fashionistas.